Good morning, Nigeria, and I make you welcome. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television from our corporate headquarters in Lagos State in Nigeria. I am Henry Igwebike, and I would love to especially welcome everyone, wherever it is you are watching or streaming from around the world. We say welcome to Lagos State in Nigeria. I am Henry Igwebike, and let's kickstart today on an interesting note, starting from our newspapers, and right after that, in a jiffy would be our conversation for today. Do well to be part of what we do, have a say in what we say. You can find us, reach us when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Very so honored to have live in our studios Emeka Madnagu, journalist, public affairs analyst, development communicator, to see through everything we have from our newspapers and crisscrossing to our conversation for today. Good morning to you, Emeka.
Yeah. My pleasure. Good morning.
Yes. So,
happy Armed Forces Remembrance and Celebration Day
definitely
to Nigeria. Yeah.
Yes, very well. And equally, a sad one, the Nigerians are actually not happy. We were kicked out of the AFCON last night.
Were we kicked out, or our boys played well? Only
but we
they were against the host nation. It's not easy.
How do you mean?
It's not easy beating the host nation. Their fans, the crowd, the pressure. It's not easy.
Some people will call that excuses because
no, it's not excuses. Our boys played 120. Was it 90 minutes? In fact, 120 minutes,
120 minutes
without any goal being scored against us. It tells a lot. By host nation, it tells a lot. So those boys did well. They could have done better, but of course they did well, and I hope that they will get better as time goes on.
All right, we hope they get better, but it's been a very long time. We thought we were going to win the AFCON Cup the last time it was hosted in Ivory Coast. We didn't do that. Morocco, we thought it was going to work. This time around, it's not going to work. And I learned the next AFCON will be the next 4 years. It's no longer 2 years. It's 4 years now. So I do not know if the crop of young boys we have now will still make it to the next AFCON in 4 years' time. But we truly do hope that this unifying factor, the football, will be managed well. The best of the best should be allowed to participate in it, so Nigeria can make itself proud. But let's move to the Daily Trust newspaper for today. Big story, 60 years after Sardauna, Balewa, and Akintola. Yes, today marks 60 years after the January 15th, 1966 forced coup that ousted the first Republic Prime Minister and President. And today we're marking that exactly. Let's take a look at that historical fact there. Lots of people would say that coup was inevitable. There's nothing that would have stopped it, and so on. And other people said we weren't prepared at that point, that our colonialism would have continued for a bit in order to have avoided that from not happening. And many other things that people have stated. But of course, we've lost a very significant, symbolic people in Nigeria. What was your take on that historical fact?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I wonder, Daily Trust just mentioning 3 figures.
Yes.
Out of all the people that were killed, I think it is bigotry, of a very ridiculous kind. You see, and which is sad, what the Nigerian media has become, purveyors, of bigotry. Instead of, addressing issues, Nigerian media dives into, specious narratives. If not, you just brought up just 3 names, as if those were the only people who died in the coup. And it tells, it is part of that deliberate, mischievous, and horrible messaging that has been pushed in the past 60 years that, it was an Igbo coup because it was led by Chukwuma Nzogu. But even a book, why we struck by Major Ademoyega, has said it clearly that there were issues, that they struck because of principle. It had nothing to do with ethnic coloration. It had no ethnic coloration. It had nothing to do with, you say people will say, why weren't any Igbo people killed? And I said that that's not correct. That's not correct. So, but the thing is that you see in our nation, One of the reasons why we are not progressing is that we often fail to look at the bigger picture, which is that as a collective, as a nation, as a country, we are not making progress. So instead of us to sit down together and say, what can we do? How can we redouble our efforts to do better? How can we become more united? How can we, sort out our differences and work together? No, what we try to do is that we don't look for whom to blame. And that is the outcome of lazy thinking, which permeates all sectors. All sectors. We keep looking for scapegoats to blame, instead of us taking the blame ourselves. Why? How come? You see, there are some accounts that say that after the coup, that there was celebration in some parts of the Middle Belt. Why was that? Why were those celebrations? Why did they have those celebrations? Well, of course, because some people were not happy that they were not happy about the rule of the Premier of the Northern region. They were not happy. They were not happy. Yes, some people in the Middle Belt, yes, were said not to be happy, And so with him out of the way, they felt, that yes, they were free, So what we must be very careful with is this: the way we frame issues. Let's know that whatever framing we bring to issues will ultimately come back to us. If we decide to twist issues, it was an Igbo coup. The fact that it was an Igbo coup has not made the military in Nigeria less ambitious. Just a few months ago, sometime last year, some soldiers officers were accused of plotting a coup against, President Bola Tinubu. So if it was an Igbo coup, is it Igbos who have been organizing coups since that time? The answer is no. So why don't we throw that narrative away and work towards the fact that, look, in all the coups that have happened in Nigeria, that, people have died needlessly, that, lives have been lost, and we have not made significant progress economically, socially, and in different ways. So why don't we drop all this, division? Why don't we highlight our uniting factors and work hard? Let's see whether in the next 60 years, whether we'll still have a Federal Republic of Nigeria, whether we would have been able to come to a point where we can live as brothers and sisters, where Nigerians can live in any part of the country, as long as they're engaged in legitimate business, where all this ethnic profiling, trolling, hate, and all of, you just wonder at how the mental state of some people, when you see certain things they write, you just know that this one ought to see a psychiatrist. This one is not normal. Because no normal human being will sit down and type some things. I was just reading one last night. I told the guy, I said, you need to say, you are not well. You are not well at all. Because at the end of the day, what do you gain from this nonsense? And the lady who posted it, I told her, I said, you lack understanding. That's why you post such nonsense. That's why you post such nonsense. And thankfully she removed it. She deleted it. Because what the sick fellow did was to put the image of a prominent Nigerian. So when you're reading it, you think he was the one who wrote it. And I asked the lady, can't you see what you're doing? Don't you know the implication of what you're doing? That this man whose image is there doesn't write like this. So why will you do such a? Is it that you just see anything online and you pick it? Is it that an adult like you cannot distill and see the difference? So what we need to do, we have the opportunity to put the past behind us and interrogate the issues confronting us so that we can make progress.
Very well said. It's very important that we put the past behind us. Nigeria is not the first, actually. We've had historically many countries that have gone through lots of issues like this. Germany is one of those countries. Just imagine Germany, which is the second largest economy the biggest economy in Europe and the third largest in the world. Just imagine Germany still licking its wounds and telling itself, we should blame ourselves, we should blame United States and many other countries, or the UK and France, to have made what they have done. But they have moved on, and they did that in unison, holding on to themselves and believing that a greater Germany is theirs. And I would love to believe that would have happened in Nigeria if we are to unify ourselves against the little edged things that surround us. But let's move to other stories. We have still from the Daily Trust newspaper. Federal government pauses on tax laws guidelines, cites uncertainty. Emeka, what does this mean? Have they totally removed it? What is the guideline exactly? Because it's very important we understand what exactly it is a post.
No, the point is that too many things were put into the tax laws. And now with the alterations of the tax laws, they don't even know what is the objective. Is it to bring more people into the tax net? Is it to impoverish Nigerians? Is it to destroy Nigerians? Is it what exactly? I mean, look at the vexatious 7.5% on online transactions. I thought we were heading towards a cashless system. With the guidelines brought out by the CBN last year, I thought, Nigeria was not, heading to a cashless system. That that the CBN was trying to had put some guidelines, to discourage cash withdrawals and encourage online transactions. Mm-hmm. How do you now go again to the online transactions to put 7.5%? So if I'm transferring 1 million, I will pay 75,000. And they forget one thing, that Nigeria does not have a technology. Nigeria is not sophisticated enough to handle, some complexities in the global financial system. For instance, like cryptocurrency. I know a lot of people who have abandoned even organizations in Nigeria that have abandoned the traditional banking financial system. They trade in crypto. So, so all of these things, you will pay VAT and all that. It's not necessary. Why would you put 7.5% VAT? What is it? I mean, who bears the cost? Yesterday, a friend of mine was telling me of a dispute he had with a former colleague of his. Both of them were, involved in this tax business. And they did one business together. And then the friend was saying that he should have paid the VAT. After all, they are friends. And he said, what? That I told you to, that in paying this money, you know the rules. That you are the one who is supposed to pay the VAT. Now it now became, a bone of contention. Who will pay VAT? Because the money is much. The money is much. So, when you even see Nigerians crying about about even the little deductions, we may call it little, but it amounts to millions. Deductions by banks. Then you're now bringing something that I don't understand though. Then, so where do they want Nigerians to go to? Transfers, you're saying 7.5%. You don't do that. It's not done. You have to find a way to cushion the effect of the bad economy. And that's why I said at the point that the president should stop Taiwo Yedele, from talking. He has done his work in drafting the tax laws. Return the assignment to the Central Bank, Federal Ministry of Finance, and the National Revenue Service. Let them sort out gray areas. But when one man keeps talking today, he says that that government will deduct money from any money that comes into accounts, and that banks will have the power to place a lien on accounts, and then you now turn around tomorrow and say it's not true. Look, government is arrogating powers to this man that he doesn't have. He's a mayor committee. He was heading a mayor committee. We have a minister of finance, a minister of state for finance, a minister of budget and planning, minister of state for budget and planning, who went through Senate screening. They were asked questions by the Senate. Why would you now bring a mayor committee head to come and be making weighty pronouncements that have to do with your fiscal policy, your fiscal and monetary policies? Well, you have a central bank governor who is actually supposed to be independent. So, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised that they are possible because the whole thing is a mess.
Especially with the revelation by KPMG, that cited lots of loopholes and.
No, Oyedele was not arguing with them. On what basis? What power does Oyedele have? What powers does he have? KPMG pointed out certain loopholes. But they was not arguing that you don't understand. That's a KPMG. Does he understand? Yes, I know you are cited as one of the most knowledgeable people in tax in Africa, but you're one man. KPMG is an organization. And
it's an institution.
It's an institution. It's a global institution. So before they bring out something, it will have gone through, a rigorous process. So for you to now be saying that you are pausing on it, when you have already started, you have already caused so much of upheaval in the system. Look at some landlords now charging VAT on rental income. Charging VAT on rental income. Now you are coming to say no. That VAT, people now have to intervene to say no. You cannot charge VAT on rental income. But you said that any money that enters into corporate accounts, right, that they are obligated to pay VAT. But again, within the same guidelines, you are saying that if your turnover is up to 25%, that you are not obligated to pay VAT or company income tax. Yet, even before this tax law, Federal Inland Revenue Service had been known to be harassing people. And you can clearly see that this man's turnover, but they will just, put a very high figure. And then something alien to our laws was inserted into tax law. Under our laws, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty by court. But in this case now, the NRS now has power to presume you guilty. So it's now, the onus is now on you to prove yourself innocent. How can a man who does not have the power of a court, who does not have judicial powers, come and prove me guilty? On what basis? You want to start, you want to ignite anarchy. Yeah. You want to ignite chaos.
The Wild Wild West.
You want to ignite chaos. They saw what happened in Kenya. Look at what is happening in Iran. It's also partly because of economic situation. Look at around the world. Look at France. Sometime last year, when they increased, when they put a road tax, people were now asking the government of Madam Macron, is it because we are not rich enough to stay inside the cities? Yeah. So we now stay in the suburbs and drive to work and back. Is that why you are punishing us with a road tax? And name it, even in the United States, when Donald Trump came in, there was a scarcity of eggs, and people were protesting. Donald Trump had to approach 3 European nations to help, to supply eggs to the United States, so that, the price of eggs will not, get out of reach. So I think the entire thing is a mess. They should suspend. I said it before, that the tax law should be suspended and subjected to a rigorous scrutiny. Because, yes, I support the payment of tax, but I also support responsible governance. A situation where one criminal will just sit down because it's the public office, a criminally minded character will steal billions, and he will just get away with a slap on the wrist. No way. If you are putting tax laws, put it in the law that anybody who is found culpable of stealing public funds will face capital punishment or life imprisonment. When you do that, let me tell you, people will pay tax willingly.
Yeah, because we cannot excuse the Accountant General of the Federation during the Muhammad Buhari, who stole about
197 billion. And the man is still working free.
And the one who took over,
the other
equally took
the one before him,
10 billion.
And the one after him.
It's actually very, very sad. And I was speaking of the unbanked in Nigeria. About 20+ million Nigerians are unbanked. Not because they do not have money, but because they do not trust our financial system. And with all of these taxes and 7.3% for e-transfers, do you think many Nigerians would rather prefer to remain unbanked, have their cash? And lots of people would even say, if you don't pay me cash, don't even pay me at all. And that is where we are headed if this is actually not taken care of. But let's move to the Guardian newspaper for today. We have straight to the talking point, Emeka. Professors to earn extra 1.8 million naira yearly in new federal government ASU pact. Now, when someone hears 1.8 million, it looks like they are being paid 1.8 million every month, but that's not what it is. Professors still take home between 400 and 500,000 naira. Now, the 1.8 million divided by 12 gives us roughly about 160,000 naira
additional.
In addition. So what means if a professor who earns 400,000 naira, 1 plus 100
gross.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Not netto.
Yes.
Gross.
So it means that
we have not broken it down. Home. We have not removed.
Yes.
We have not removed PIT, personal income tax, pay as you earn. We have not removed tax on housing. We have not removed tax on transport. Right? So you see Nigerians, Nigerian media. I keep begging my colleagues, stop amplifying ignorance.
Because it would have been better to really state how much a professor takes home every
What
month.
at the end of the month, what is the net?
What is the net?
If somebody takes home 550,
Yes.
you know that the new tax law talk about progressive taxation. So anything up to 800,000 in a year is zero tax. But for 1.2 million, 15% in a year. So calculate 550 or 600. 600 times 12 months is 7.2 million. Right? So when you begin to, calculate the tax, and what will remain? What will be left? Because, I was calculating the other day for somebody earning 200,000 naira a month, by the time you remove all of those things, you have about, you have income tax of like 27,500 naira a month. Then by the time you remove this, the person may be, when you look at everything, the person may end up with just about 150 or 140,000 naira every month. But you say the person is earning 200,000. Now, the transfer to his account, who is going to bear the 7.5% VAT? Will the employers bear it? Don't forget, you remove 8% for pension. You remove, I think, 5% for health insurance, if it's for an organization that has health insurance, and then some other little things like that. So at the end of the day, somebody earning gross of 600,000 naira in a month, times 12, that's 7.2 million. How much is he or she going on with as net? Then look at the purchasing power.
Exactly.
Look at rent. Even in states that you say are not viable, are not viable. Go there, rent go and look for a 2-bedroom flat.
Yeah, because the price of cement is still the same wherever. The price of rods and all that, it still remains the same.
It's the same. It's even going up.
So that doesn't necessarily
POP.
Yeah.
I was asking somebody about POP yesterday. He was telling me per square meter 10,000.
Really?
How much was POP as at 2023 before Tinubu came in? It was about maybe 3,500.
Imagine.
I was asking somebody about borehole yesterday, and he was telling me that a borehole that's said to be 650 feet, which as at 2023 was priced at 4 million. You'll now be talking of 7.5 to 8 million. 3 horsepower pumping machine that used to be 250,000, 290,000 as of 2023. Today it's over 400,000. So when you look at, when we look at building materials, we think it's only cement and rods. Yeah. No, there are some things. Look, let me tell you where you will know that building is not easy is when a plumber gives you quotations. You're going to see in the quote, you will see something 150. You will say 50 pieces. He may say maybe gum.
Yes.
He will just put maybe 1,000 naira. You see 10 pieces. You will see one very long list. You will just be seeing 200 naira. 200. But by the time you calculate that money, you'll be talking of 5 million naira. So, is it tiles? Don't go there. Is it tiles? Is it, name it? Is it ceiling? Is it ceilings? Name it. Even WC that used to be how much? 15,000 naira today. As at maybe 20 years ago. As at 12, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. 10,000 naira. WC is now about 60 something, 70,000 naira. Yes. I can name, not because of time, I can name other things. So when you talk about what we are talking about is this. Improve the purchasing power of people. And it's not just about the quantum of money they earn. It is about the fact that government should put certain incentives, economic incentives, that will make it easier, for people's earnings to make sense. Like for me, I've always said one thing, that you have set up a credit corp, a credit corporation. What you can do is that whatever you are doing, like if you say, okay, these lecturers, these, professors, that, okay, professor will earn 1 million notionally. Can say we earn 1 million notionally. But in reality, what comes to that professor is 600,000 naira every month. So notionally, you have 1 million. In gross, realistically, is 600,000. Now, the 400,000 can take care of certain things. You can, for instance, pay for a mortgage. You can, take care of your basic monthly needs, milk and the rest of them, bread, tea, and all those things. You can take care of certain things like commuting and all of that. Now, that money does not go to the person. The money is in a credit system. So you cannot access it except through certain things. The government has vendors all over the place. So the credit card has vendors. So if, let's say, you are servicing a mortgage, you can pay for it. If you are building a house, you can go to vendors, accredited vendors, approved vendors, and buy from there. So you can use that credit, even if it is 200,000 naira. We used to have something like that many years ago, value card, that banks gave to their employees for lunch. So when you were going to eat lunch, when you were going to have lunch, you didn't have to pay out of pocket. Okay. And which is a major problem in Nigeria. A lot of payments come from out of pocket. You are going to the hospital, is out of pocket. A doctor prescribed drugs, you pay out of pocket. But if you move these things, that's okay, that your notional pay will cover drugs, will cover health insurance, maybe to a certain percentage. So you can walk into any government hospital, you can walk into even a private hospital, accredited private hospital, and take treatment without bothering about how it's going to be paid for. So instead of government committing funds to health insurance, what you do is that you already have funds in the system. So that money you are warehoused with the banks, they are trading with it, and the money is just like the pensions and the contributory pension scheme, which has done better than the derived benefits scheme. So the contributory pensions, the employee pays 8%, the employer pays at least 7% or so. And then when you put that money together over a period, by the time the person, the pension fund custodian, invest this money in securities and all of that. So that even when the person is retired and you say, okay, I want a period, I want to take this scheme, either annuity or the other one, but the money, at least there is money coming to you because the money is being invested. The money is being invested, so the money is assured, it's coming to you. So when it's coming like that, at least people are sure that even upon retirement, there is something that will be coming to them. So when we look at it that way, it will make more sense. So people don't have to be going on strike because of salary, because they want you to add 150,000 naira to their salary. What does it do for you? 150,000 naira, divide it now by, let's say, 20 working days in a month. Let's say transport, let's say transport to and fro takes you maybe 2,000 naira. Go and check it now. That's already 40,000 naira out. You eat, you take care of other things.
You fuel your car.
So what's the point?
Actually, so bad. But
and if you fuel your car, it's even worse.
Even worse.
Because you may need 10 liters to your place of work and 10 liters back. How much is that? At today's price, let's even say average of a 750 naira per liter. That's 15,000 naira. That's 15,000 naira per day. Yes. Per day. Per day, times 20 days. That's, how much is that? Times 20. Is that not 300,000? Yes. How much did they add to the professor's salary? 140,000. So you see, the professor still has, I mean, 160,000 naira, he doesn't know where it will come from. And remember, it's gross, so that figure is gross.
Very so sad, because this and more are reasons why you see the best of our best, leave the country to other places. In Ghana, for example, a very small country, a professor takes home between 1.8 million naira and 2.2 million naira. That's what they take home in Ghana. In Nigeria, we're still struggling with having our professors earn less than 700,000 naira. And still, the people who run this feel they are doing the best of the jobs. Politicians those heading us and making laws for us, who have contributed nothing to Nigeria, are smiling home to the bank with lots of money and still complaining they are not even making more. Well, that is a sad reality we find ourselves. But that is what we have for today. Just to let you know, Emeka would still be here to take on our main conversation when we return. Ambassador vacuum exposes federal government's $9 million lobby deal. In a bit, it's still Enterprise Morning. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.